What's up everybody, Caleb here, and today I'm going to be unboxing my Nightmare on Elm Street DVD collection and giving a review on each movie and my thoughts on each one. This box set was released in 1999 by New Line Cinema, of course, part of the 15th anniversary of the series, where each film was digitally remastered and available on DVD for the very first time. This is an excellent box set. If you're a Freddy fan, this is definitely a must for your collection. There's no doubt there. This thing is just, it's incredible. And let me just go on record by saying Nightmare on Elm Street and Freddy Krueger is my favorite horror movie villain of all time, favorite slasher, and favorite film series for sure. No one has a style like Freddy Krueger does, that's definitely for sure. Alright, so let's get started here. Let's break this thing down. Of course, each film makes a puzzle, of course, of Freddy's background. Freddy's back, I mean. Looks pretty sweet. Of course, that's the real Freddy Krueger. You can tell by the glove itself there. Alright, start off. Nightmare on Elm Street. The original film, of course. Best in the series, probably. No doubt there. Love this film, you know, I mean, there's just no words that can describe this film, you know. This is, you know, one of the greatest horror movies of all time, and this, you know, almost nothing can compare to this film, actually, you know. I mean, it's great. As far as the DVDs in this collection, you know, each one of them contains the original poster concept, which is cool, I think. I like this a lot, you know, this is really sweet. The one thing that always confused me was the skeleton face at the top, which of course is supposed to be Freddy, but it's neat, you know, it really is neat. I do enjoy it. I think it's pretty cool. You know. But like I said, this movie sets the stage for horror movies, if you ask me. I mean, it's just, you know, just the first scene when Tina gets dragged across the ceiling and slashed across the chest. You know, that's just cinematic history right there, in my opinion. You know, not many horror scenes can compare to that. This movie is just, it's a masterpiece, start to finish. And each DVD in this collection contains a trivia game as part of the DVD-ROM content. It's pretty sweet. And also it contains the script. At the time, this was pretty groundbreaking for DVD, of course, because, you know, DVD was just hitting on in 1999, you know, so this was some pretty cool stuff for back then. Definitely. Next up, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. Love this one as well, you know, I mean, it was great. It was a great sequel, you know. I'm glad, though, that, you know, within part 3, you know, they went back to the storyline, you know, that followed part 1, you know, because with this one, to me, it was kind of, might have became a slasher film, you know, a real slasher film, kind of like the Friday the 13th, where, like, they just introduce new characters in each film, and it just becomes Freddy killing them all, you know, and I'm glad they really stuck to the storyline after this one. But again, this is a great film. I love this one. This one's, you know, Freddy's weak, of course, in this one after the first one, you know, and they did a great job of, you know, him finding a way to come back by possessing Jesse, the new kid living in 1428 Elm Street. It's great. Not a real big fan of the poster art here, you know. I mean, it makes sense, obviously. Looks in the mirror and he sees himself as Freddy. You know, I like the original cover better that's on the VHS tape. I like that one a lot better. And also the one that's on the remastered VHS tape. But still, it's cool. Just inside here, the disc. And again, like I said, each DVD contains a trivia game as a DVD-ROM content. There's 8 of them. Can't really see very well, you know, the chapters and everything, but that's what the insides look like. Alright, moving on. Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. Love this one. This is probably my favorite of the series, you know, besides part 1, of course. This is definitely the second favorite. You know, again, this one stuck great to the storyline and introduced us to the Dream Warriors. You know, they all had their own power that they brought into the dream world against Freddy, and this movie's a masterpiece, start to finish, just like the first one. It's great. I love this cover, the original cover that was featured on the VHS. You know, the Dream Warrior standing on Freddy's blades. You know, just gotta love it. This is excellent. This is a great film. You know, this is always a first to be watched during Halloween in my horror movie collection, no doubt. You know, I love that image of Freddy there too, just standing in the shadow with his glove drawn. Love that. Definitely one of the best of the series. Alright, next up, Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. Original artwork again, too, also featured on the VHS there. Love this one as well. Great film, great follow-up to Dream Warriors. Freddy finishes off the last of the Elm Street kids in this one and moves on to new meat, Alice, and uses her to bring him more victims. Great plot. Great kills, great lines. It's Freddy at his best. Can't beat it. Open it up here. Check it out, the disc. Each disc's pretty standard, just features the title and features Freddy in some pose and position. Next up, Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. This is definitely considered to be the weakest of the series, kind of at this point it was just keeping it going. But I do like this one, it's got a decent plot. Alice's character was brought back in this one, which was cool, and Freddy's haunting her dreams, the unborn child. And it had a good plot, just might have, maybe if it had a bigger budget it could have been done just a little bit better, but I do like this one. Not a huge fan of the cover of this one. This is the original poster. This one ain't featured on the VHS. It's pretty cool, I guess, but just not a fan of that cover very well. Again, just Freddy in a pose like all the other ones. Alright, next up, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. Love this one. This was, intended to be the last in the series. We meet Freddy's daughter in this one and learn all that backstory. It's got a great plot, great kills. One of the best kills in the movie, actually the two best, is Carlos's death with the ears, and Spencer's death, played by Breckin Meyer. If y'all know him from Robot Chicken. And Garfield. His death in the video game world is really sweet. And I love this cover. That's the original cover from the VHS. Love that. And I also love at the end of the movie, after Catherine says Freddy's dead, and the credits roll and they show clips from the past 6 films on the side. I love that. I always love that homage in horror movies to the past films. I think that's always a great way to go out. Again, considered one of the weaker ones of the series, but if you're a diehard fan of the series, like I am, you love it just as much as you love all of them. Wes Craven's New Nightmare. This brought Wes Craven back to the series as the writer and director. Great film, breathing new life into the series. This is the real Freddy in this one. This isn't Robert Englund. Because if you watch the credits at the end, it says Freddy as himself, which I love. Gives me chills when I see that. It's just awesome. I'm a huge nerd when it comes to these horror movies, people. And of course, every character in the film plays themselves in this. Heather Langenkamp plays herself, Robert Englund plays himself, Wes Craven plays himself, John Saxon. Great film. And was a great way to wrap up the series at the time, no doubt there. And of course, that's in the box set, the Nightmare Series Encyclopedia, which again at the time, this was groundbreaking for DVD. Contains a documentary about the first Nightmare film. It's called Prime Time, Welcome to Prime Time, and it just really leads you into how the film began, and how all the pre-production interviews with Robert Englund, Wes Craven, John Saxon, Heather Langenkamp, Bob Shaye, all the key players in the Nightmare series and how it got started. It also features the Labyrinth, which is really sweet. It's kind of confusing, you gotta be kind of a gamer to get through it, but there's tons and tons of stuff in the Labyrinth. There's interviews, there's never before seen footage, like Freddy on MTV. There's the Doc and Dream Warriors video, and a couple other music videos from Nightmare on Elm Streets 4 and 5. And just all kinds of mind-blowing features in that, And again, at the time, this was groundbreaking for DVD. No doubt there, this was. And then there's also an index which features like a wrap-up on each film, contains the theatrical trailers from all 7 of them, and interviews and stuff like that as well. So yeah, this is pretty sweet. This is definitely really sweet. You know, this is, you know, each DVD, the only thing that's the actual movies themselves, you know, scene selection, Jump to a Nightmare, you know, all the special features for the films are right here on the encyclopedia. Also comes with two pairs of 3D glasses for Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. The last 20 minutes of the film are in 3D. It looks pretty sweet, you know, for at the time. You know, in 1991, the way 3D was, it was pretty cool. You know, the director, actually Rachel Taylor, will tell you she's not really a fan of having to shoot the film in 3D if you watch the encyclopedia. But, you know, if you're, again, a diehard fan, you love it. And also features a book. The Nightmare is Alive. Just features different things from the press kits from the films was released. You know, it has words from Wes Craven, Robert Englund. Like, has the original release date of the films when each one came out. It's a pretty sweet book. I'm not going to go through it all, but it's pretty sweet. You know, it really wraps up the DVD box set pretty well. And the box set itself, again, pretty sweet. Most of the images of Freddy are from the New Nightmare. New Nightmare Freddy, then there's a list of all the films and everything. And of course that's Robert Englund Freddy that we all know from the other films. You know, for 1999 this was a pretty sweet box set that was coming out, you know, there's no doubt there. But yeah, that is the Nightmare series box set, released in 1999. I will be doing a review on the Nightmare on Elm Street VHS collection here soon as well, the original VHS, and comparing them to this and the covers and all that stuff. I'm a real nerd when it comes to the covers of films and everything, and going into a little more depth about the films on those future videos to come. So thanks for watching.